Recording. Okay, welcome everyone to our weekly open DAO Ops call. If you're here, you're a signatory on a DAO that's joining and getting more involved in the community discussion surrounding DAOs, DAO operations, and DAO tooling. I am here. We got / Sam and Devin and Gabby from our DAO operations team.
And Shock.
We'll have you guys here, and Shock as well.
I'm shoplifting.
And
Don't
Tim.
worry about me.
Strong mind hold.
Oh yeah, we got Tim too that joined the team. Welcome, Tim.
He's on mute, probably.
No, I just really didn't know this till right this second.
Well, you know, we've talked. I mean, so granted, this may be us approving him to join the team, but you know, maybe I'll fire you this week, Tim. How about that?
Yeah, let's do it official.
Yeah. Put it on the chain.
Go ahead, Rach.
How you do?
Yeah, so we got George from, I'm sorry, George, you're from Developer DAO, you said? From Dev DAO?
I am from the Developer DAO, so I'm one of the new governors. And I'm now hosting the spaces, and we're going to do it Tuesday at 9 p.m. PST, and then Thursday at 9:30 a.m. PST. So we can have a few more options. We might also add a weekend, but we're also looking for content collab. So for example, I was on one Twitter space with the Herd Out, and that had like 30 people in it, right? So that was good. I'm just trying to increase our number of listeners. So if anyone's interested in that, just message me either in Zoom, or I can provide them or you can join our Discord, the Developer DAO, and you can do that then. Thank you.
Yeah, if you can provide a link to any of these resources, to the Discord or the recurring call, that'd be awesome if you could drop that in the chat.
Yeah. Also, what topics are you guys looking at doing? I think a list of running topics where people can kind of fill in might help you get more collaborations possibly, or get some, ideal collaborations.
Sure. So the first thing we're doing is we're trying to make the DAO more self-sustaining. So using our experience. So we're going to discuss how to vet developers, provide some technical support, do advisory for projects, for building their business plan, budget, and stuff from our side, as we're kind of more of the, I think every DAO governor has launched a project before, and we're significantly older than most startup people, to be honest. So, and then we would like to discuss how different DAOs are using their tooling, and just any general Harmony stuff, or just EVM compatible developments and progress with different stuff in the ecosystem. Yeah, so I can list that in the chat too.
Cool.
Sign me up for the biz dev conversation, please. Please.
I'd love to come, and if Devin is available too, we can talk about DAO tooling as well.
Okay.
Whoop, whoop. DAO tools.
We're there. DAO tools.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we're going to go over a couple things today. We're going to talk about DAO funding, DAO operations, and DAO tooling. And I guess we can go ahead and start with Mikey.
Hang on.
Let's start with Sam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm gonna mute, I think, Nawabi. Actually, Rachel, you're gonna have to. Thank you.
Yep.
There's a wonderful dog that really wanted to have somebody have a conversation with him. So thank you for muting yourself. So a couple of things we just want to update everybody on. And this is us obviously listening very, very closely to everybody in the community. Obviously there's some, what's the right word here? Consternation or misunderstanding, actually. There's some poor information that has been circulating about what the DAO operations team has been doing and how much we have been funding various different DAOs. So the first thing you should know is that this year in 2022, since the beginning of the year, we had a grand total of $1 million that has gone out to DAOs. That's it, just $1 million. Since the beginning of the DAO program, back in, what was that, June of last year, we have provided only $4 million in grant funding to the various different DAOs. Just four. We've approved about 6, just over 6. But we haven't given all that out because these are milestone payments. Importantly, the reason why I'm bringing this up is there is a lot of discussion about the fact that, hey, you've given out 40 million and it's creating a massive amount of sell pressure because the DAOs need to sell these tokens to be able to run their operations. That's actually not entirely accurate. Number one, it's not 40 million, it's 4 over the last year. And number two, this year, since the price has been kind of hanging out in the 12 to 15 cent range, that's only been $1 million. And so if you look at kind of what the transactions have been in the last 24 hours, roughly they're about 67 million in transactions trading of the one token. And so the idea of the tokens going to DAOs creating a sell pressure is actually just flawed. There's a lot of things that we can go into talking about what the sell pressure is, but it's not the grants coming from the DAOs. That being said, one of the things that we're doing right now is we are revising our strategic approach to DAOs. We are doing a lot of work to make sure that we are listening to the community because DAOs are a community-based program. So Devin and Chalk and Rachel and Mikey and Gabby and I, and Tim is a huge liaison here with the DAO community. We are working on something called One DAO, and you will learn more about this. This is a One DAO Council. It's not a DAO in and of itself, but it is a council where we are going to have a lot of feedback and a lot of community input on how and what DAOs are being funded. So I just wanted to kind of give a heads up on how that is working. On top of that, because we're in a little bit of a transition period, we are stopping funding DAOs until at the earliest May, like May 1st. So that is, you should all understand that if you've made some applications on the talk.harmony.one forum, we will be responding to and we will be working with you, but we're not going to approve any more grants until at the earliest May 1st. Let's see, Mikey, did I miss anything on the funding update there? Or on the kind of talking about our high point topics? Mikey,
nope, you nailed it. And just you know, the reiteration that just because we aren't approving any proposals doesn't mean that we won't still be in contact on
Yeah.
talk. Any questions, any concerns, will still help streamline proposals and all that good stuff.
Right.
But no, that was it. Yeah, the approvals halted till May 1st. That was it.
Yeah.
So
Now,
to answer Kate's question, we're still going to be providing feedback during this time for grants, correct?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, we're still definitely engaging, still definitely, doing feedback. We're not stopping the grant program at all whatsoever. There's just some tooling. This is 10 days, right? Today's the, 19th? So 11 days that we aren't going to make an official approval as we restructure this stuff. I will also add that part of this is really, shoot, what was I going to say? Mikey, what was I going to say next?
I think you might have been talking about you're going towards part of this is because of what we've been seeing from the community sentiment.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, at the end of the day, the really, really important thing is that, like I said, DAOs are based on community, and we need to make sure that we are listening to and working with the community, and we are recruiting and bringing in. The purpose of DAOs is to get the community engaged in the project. It's not simply just to fund all of the different projects. It's the fact that Harmony Protocol using blockchain technology is going to do a lot of things that we may not even know today. And the way in which we can grasp those things and see what a blockchain protocol is capable of is having communities actually work together to build those things with a protocol at its core. So this is an adoption and a usage play, which is more than just, simply, hey, let's drive more TVL. let's drive more marketing, let's drive more attention. This is about adoption of the chain and of the token. That's what really DAOs are focused on. All right, I'm going to shut up and I'll let us move on to.
And just and the One DAO Council that not only the DAO Ops team but also the DAOists in the Harmony community are working on is going to. This is why we're doing it. This is why we're doing the One DAO Council. All of us is to just really hone in on information coming in, information going out, information going up, information going down. Collaboration from everyone.
Yeah, Devin had a really good quote from Hayek. Is that right, Dev?
Friedrich Hayek?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
so
you're on first name basis with him.
Yeah, Friedrich. He and I are good friends. I think he's passed away, actually. It's sad. But yeah, he talks about, so this is a paper written in 1947, won a Nobel Prize in 1974 for it, the use of knowledge in society, and talks about, this is an organization framework, not a DAO. So keep that in mind when I use the terms top and bottom and, you know, this and that. And so those at the top will, when they have the knowledge that is relevant to them, they should centralize decision-making. But when the knowledge is not relevant to them and the knowledge is only relevant to those or only known by those at the bottom, decision-making should be given to those people who are down there making those decisions, right? Because it just increases that churn of information of specific organizational knowledge. But there's a very important part in all this, and that is that the information has to come back up from those decision makers at the bottom to the people who are making those long-term visionary goals or decisions at the top. That's not the quote, right? I don't have it in front of me, sorry, but that's the ideal framework, right? Is that we are using the decision-making power and the information, the feedback from all the decision makers in the community and bringing it together in one place, not just so the DAO ops team can make better decisions, but so every DAO in the ecosystem can also make better decisions based on, wow, that they're using that DAO tool. We should probably also maybe look at that DAO tool because it will help us in this way, or vice versa. And this is kind of what we do internally to Harmony as well with our all hands meetings, you know, understanding, hey, who's doing what, and having one place where everyone can go to learn what people are doing, right? One video every week. It's a good place to get that information.
Yeah, and I think we had a really good conversation last week regarding this. And, you know, we just started more critically thinking about the success of DAOs and how to measure metrics. And we actually got together the DAO Ops call after the call last week. And we created this talk post to just, you know, start talking about DAO reporting and how we can measure metrics. So some things that we came up with are monthly treasury allocation to report, signatory hours and contributors, milestones reached, and then Stakery Do also recommended that we include the deliverables for next month in our reporting. And if any of you would like to chime in this discussion, I'll go ahead and share this in the chat right now. You want to check out that post. I think that's really important for us to all have a place to just report and view our progress as we go as DAOs.
Yeah, I totally agree 1000% with that. I think some very good points, and all those points that you brought up were actually brought up by the community last week, and we've been adopting these, like taking these into strong consideration. Not that we're in a authoritative position, but just to mold them over and kick them back out to different elements of the community. And so it's going to help in recruiting DAO tools and everything that goes with it. Outside of those, I'd like to really get a good process or understanding of what the community, you know what, I'm going to make a form and kind of just get like maybe like a 1 through 10 type of feel for anybody that's willing to fill it out. It's like, how many DAO tools do you use, or how's your DAO tooling going? How's your income distribution going? How's your revenue generation going, and things of that nature, just to kind of get a toe from everybody, because everybody's voice is just so important. Yeah, I'm gonna make a form. Shut up and make a form. Gotcha.
Thanks, Jack.
All right. So let's dive into our agenda. We have a 7-day recap coming, right, Rachel?
Sure. I think Mikey has that up on his end.
Yeah, well, so the agenda is just going to start with we'll go down the row. Shock, we'll start with you if you have any updates you'd like to share regarding onboarding, and then we'll go to me in terms of DAO approvals and DAO funding. As Sam mentioned earlier, we've halted approvals. I still have a couple funding updates, and then Devin and Rachel. Just really quickly, any updates? Go ahead, Shock. After you.
You're not letting me go first because of affirmative action, are you?
Reparations, my friend, of course.
Okay. 40 acres and a mule, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Reparations is so funny. I love that. So anyway, onboarding. Made some big advancements. Obviously, last week we talked a little bit about DAO and kind of the process of etching out educational. Well, we've designed what seemingly, because there's no one way to DAO, but we put together some great concepts in terms of the levels of education and basically a proof of knowledge so that we can have high quality DAOs entering high quality DAOs that should have a recurring effect as far as just really improving the quality of a DAO and how a DAO operates, because everybody at least has a base level of knowledge to advanced knowledge of DAOs, or at least best practices for DAOs. And so we took a couple of phone calls last week with community DAO, took some with basic DAO, or taking one with basic DAO to facilitate the onboarding process there, with the goal being to onboard to the DAO ecosystem first, right, with a engaging interactive guide. Once you have that base level of knowledge, then the specific DAO that you go to, being able to onboard to the specifics of that DAO, the tools that they use, the operations, the mandates, so on and so forth. And really just kind of rounding about the knowledge, because I think when we're all very confident in the fact that we know what we know about DAOs, and we can say that this partner or member or contributor has at least a base level of knowledge that's the same as mine, and so we can all be accountable to what we need to do in the DAO. I think that's a very important thing for the success metrics of a DAO. So we've been working on that. We will have a guide out for onboarding through basic DAO by the end of the month, probably likely well before that. And then we'll be looking at a foundational onboarding guide for just onboarding to the DAO ecosystem. That's for anybody that is a DAO enthusiast, wants to get into a DAO but doesn't know how, wants to source a DAO, so on and so forth. And so that's super, super exciting as far as it goes, and should look to roll that out correlated with the with the One DAO Council as kind of an intake process, so that we can make sure that you guys as DAO signatories and governors and members should be expecting to have quality, well-educated DAOs coming in that you can then look to uplift and have them help you be uplifted. So that's about it for onboarding as it sits right now. But definitely open to any questions. If you got any thoughts, concerns, anything like that, hit me up. I'm on the forum. I've actually been on the forum enjoying myself the last week or two, so that's new because I don't usually do those consensus forums, but this is actually really interesting and I like it. So yeah, that's me.
Thank you, Shock. Yes, yeah, look out for those guidebooks. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a really great tool for onboarding DAOists into DAO ecosystem and DAOs. So I'll go ahead real quick. Again, to reiterate, approvals have been halted until May 1st, so not too much in the way of approvals just yet. However, there was a bit of funding that's gone out from DAOs that these are two regional DAOs that have been approved for a while now and have accomplished milestones. The Philippines DAO received $10,000 for their social media milestone. They've reached 1,000 plus Twitter followers, as well as almost 2,000 followers on Facebook. So there you go. And then the Harmony India DAO completed their 2 virtual meetups. And this was a prerequisite for them because at the time of their approval for the regional India DAO, COVID restrictions were very prominent and very strict. So we agreed to have them host virtual meetups, and they completed 2 of them of over 50 people. And they have mentioned to me that they hopefully will start to host in-person events as COVID restrictions start to loosen in India. So that's exciting. But that's it from this past week anyways. So Devin, any updates from you?
Yeah. So Rachel and I have been working on onboarding this month 7 DAO tools that we've strategically identified as infrastructure that would help propel the one DAO council, and then obviously just the entirety of the DAO ecosystem. Rachel, I know you have a great list of those 7 DAOs that we agreed that you would chat about. So I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, so yesterday when we had our all hands meeting, I went ahead and prepared a list of the DAO tools that we've been targeting. So these include One Reputation, which will help DAOs to get their identity and also have a means for measuring reputation too within the DAO. We last I heard, a usable version should be available this week. So my goal is to get 3 DAOs within the Harmony ecosystem using that tool. We also are integrating with DAO Lens, and this is a DAO onboarding tool that will help us with recruiting and job placement. And we have an integration call set for this week. I also have another call today with Wonderverse, and we're going to get a demo of this tool, which goes over the social aspects of DAO and communication tools. And it also gamifies task management, which I think is really cool. And yeah, we have some other calls set up. I don't know if you guys saw the project I Was Here too, which could be a tool for DAOs to track attendance. For Ambassador DAO, that will be extremely useful. And I know Stephanie is on the call, who's also working with me, who might agree on that. Yeah, we're in talks with 7 out of the 7 DAO tools. I'd say we're in shape for 4, maybe even 5 out of 7 right now. So we are on track to hit our deliverables for this month. And I also want to give a shout out to Gabby. Me and Gabby had a call yesterday, and he's been helping me with just refining our external communications and doing outreach to the different DAO tooling projects as we develop a strategy that's repeatable and scalable as our DAO ecosystem grows. So that's a little bit about what we've been working on over here. I also want to mention our DAO tooling discussion. So I spoke to our team yesterday, and a lot of people on the DAO tooling discussion have brought up the multi-sig as a pain point. And I am able to tell you guys that we are working on a solution for that. And I will take the time to respond to each of you individually. I just wanted to say that because I think a few of you on the call had brought that up. And I'll share that talk post right now with you guys if you'd like to get involved in the DAO tooling community discussion. Other than that, I'd like to give a shout out to Logan, who's on the call, who did a phenomenal job on the One Weekly video. And I'd like to ask him at the end of the call if he wants to come up and talk about that at all. And lastly, I'd just like to announce that Ambassador DAO is doing an event today at Atlas Cafe. If you're in the San Francisco Bay Area, it'd be amazing if you guys could come and support. We have our COO Lee that will be coming and speaking today, and Stephanie as well, who's worked really hard on a presentation about NFTs and showcasing our MAD NFT project. That's all I got for me today, you guys.
Yeah, it's, to add to what Rachel said about the multi-sig, I know Victa is about 70–75% done with the update for that, and it should be done by the end of the month.
Thank you, Devin, and thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Shak. So that's that's pretty much it for this past week in DAO operations. And I believe now, unless Sam or anybody else has anything else to say really quickly, we're going to open the floor to everyone listening. Questions, concerns, this is why we do this. This is why we host these weekly DAO Ops all hands meetings. So raise your hand. We'll start letting people filter in questions, concerns, comments, ideas, whatever you guys need.
Can I maybe propose a question to the community? You can ask your own questions, obviously, but I'd like to get, if anybody wants to weigh in on this particular question, that'd be fine. When you hear One DAO Council, what do you picture in your head? Because it's still in concept, right? It's still conceptualized. So, but what do you picture, in your head? What's the first thing that kind of comes to mind? what do you see? What do you envision?
The first word that comes to mind is organization.
What about from our signatories? I'm gonna pick on, Kate. What do you think, Kate? When we say one DAO council, what do you think about? And you're on mute right now.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
feel like when I hear one DAO council, I kind of picture something centralized in the term council. So that's just like my first thought.
Response.
So I'd be curious as to how the council is like formed.
So that's a good question. Did we actually lose Rachel?
No, I'm right here.
Oh, we have so many people now. You bounced. Oh, you just shifted in my screen. So Kate, that's actually a really good point. So the council, what we are trying to do is it's not actually about centralization of authority or choices. It's more like a clearinghouse, more like a United Nations of sorts, right? Where everyone is able to come together and talk about what's going on in the DAO ecosystem. What I've been affectionately referring to as the DAOisphere. The point that we're trying to get to at some level is the fact that all of these decisions that are being made around what is happening with DAOs are not being run by me or Mikey or Devin or Rachel or Chalk, maybe Gabby, because he's really smart, but it's not on us, right? This is a place for us to communicate and talk about how this works universally with all of the individuals. So how does that make you feel now, Kate?
I don't know. I'm like, I'm I guess I'll see how it is, you know?
You're reserving
Like-
judgment, 100%.
I like that. Now, to add on to that, what Sam was saying, it's involving the makeup. The one DAO council won't be made up of any appointed, centralized council. It'll be made up of DAOs inside Harmony and representatives from DAOs inside Harmony, and nobody else outside
We
of
call
that.
it a committee instead.
A committee is good. I like committee as well too. That's great feedback.
Yeah. Great.
So the centralization is actually still decentralization because everybody will be represented ideally. Is the thought process. Does that sound different, or does committee resonate better with you, Kate? Or does that do anything for your feelings?
Yeah, I am not sold on the word committee, but I'll try to brainstorm.
Please do. No, please do. We would love for any
Yeah.
messaging is important.
DAO
What was that, George?
I'll text Kate my ideas. Never mind.
So one of the other things I think is really important to understand about this is the whole one DAO project that we're working on is more about being able to, when somebody comes that has an interest and they come to the Harmony community for the first time, where do they go, right? If they want to learn more about DeFi, where would they go for DeFi and Harmony? Where's the DeFi community? If they want to learn more about developers, about development tools, where do they go? Right? That is part of what we're trying to design this for, so that if you're interested in talking about marketing and working with the community on marketing, or on community get-togethers and meetups, or on gaming or NFTs or DeFi, where do you go to accomplish that? And right now we have a ton of these different tiny DAOs, but honestly, there's not like a comprehensive map of what is actually happening. And so that's kind of what the goal is, overarching, to say, hey, if you want to be involved in the marketing, here's the marketing team. Or not marketing team, here's the marketing DAO. And within the marketing DAO, there may be an events marketing DAO and a content DAO and a graphics DAO and all these different sub DAOs inside of that. Again, I don't want it to be hierarchical. I don't want it to be centralized, but I do want people to be able to find their people, right? I do want that to be able to happen. I don't know, Devin, did I step on your idea?
No. I mean, this is community's idea first and foremost. I just came up with the name,
Which apparently nobody likes.
which apparently no one liked. No, someone said alliance. I think it was Randy. Oh my gosh, that resonates.
One
Well,
DAO.
Alliance
Right.
does hurt. Yeah, I like Alliance.
Yeah,
I was
this
gonna
is
kick it
Robin.
over to Jacob really quick. He raised his hand.
Yeah, thank you so much. So just in reference to what you were just saying, Sam, I am new to the Harmony ecosystem, and those are all questions that I'm asking myself right now. I'm lucky enough to be participating in a few Harmony DAOs right now, but as a developer coming over from Ethereum, I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. So are you envisioning this more of like a group of people that are supporting and putting this information out, or is it more almost like a map to get to different places and different resources?
It's both. Well, the way that I see it is it's both. Like, this is why the DAO Ops team is highly engaged in it, so that we can leverage stuff like our Notion page or the talk forum, or the Twitter handles, or all of that stuff to get this information out. But it's also the community saying, yeah, as we have new people on board into the DAO, referencing Chalk and all of his work that he's doing, we know that they can walk through an educational process about learning everything about how Harmony DAOs work, and then finding the place where they have their people. They have, on Monday, I want to talk with the marketing team. On Thursday, I want to talk with the validators. On Tuesday, I want to work with the whomever, with the developers. And that's kind of the idea. Does that help answer your question there, Jacob?
Yeah, it definitely does. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like Alliance a lot, but I feel like there's a word that describes both aspects a little bit better. What that word is, I'm still trying to figure out, but I think there might be. And then just one other quick question. So I'm bringing over a lot of my DAO tooling to the Sustainable Development DAO, and I was just looking over the DAO list and all the tools that they're using. Is there a place where there's like needed tools or like maybe a good step for me to figure out what makes sense to port over first?
Talk to Rachel.
Jacob, I would definitely like to set up a call with you and sync after the call and talk more. I'm actually a part of the Sustainable Development DAO myself. So I'd love to talk to you more.
Awesome.
Can we pop it over to Robin now? I know that Robin has a question, and then Jane has one following up Robin.
Can I
Yeah,
edify
but-
Robin? Because he needs edification. Robin is the guy. I'm a huge fan. I'm sorry. I apologize. Go ahead, Robin.
Cool. Thanks. Thanks, Shaq. So my question was like, when we talk about alliance or like community, right? It is really good. Like, we engage the community, but like, what do we think in terms of running a lean process, right? Because so that we can take the decisions like maybe in a few days and all, right? So how do we try to approach it? That's one. Other question is there anything to like learn and follow the processes which like different accelerator programs are doing? Because what they do is like a lot of they have batches for a lot of projects, right? And then they try to make them successful, right? So that's what I think the program wants to do, right? Have a lot of DAOs and try to provide them all the support to be successful. So can there be any processes and all that could be like followed from those programs and borrowed from those programs?
Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of Eric Ries, who wrote the Lean Startup Method. And so I have actually implemented a lot of the concepts casually. Like, I don't know if Devin and Chalk and Michael and Rachel recognize it and Gabby recognize it, but casually I've been doing a lot of A/B testing, a lot of analytics, a lot of different things on trying to challenge our assumptions and get actual data based on those assumptions. To back what works and what doesn't work. There is shorthand is accelerator projects. Oh, and just for reference, Robin, also a lot of the stuff that have been taken from has been taken from best practices from 500 startups, GSV, let's see, Y Combinator. What are the other ones that I've done mentoring for? There's several local, so I'm in Palo Alto, California. And so there are several local accelerators. Plug and Play was another one that I looked at carefully. The issue here is actually not a technical or marketing or outreach sort of problem that we're trying to solve for. It is actually a moving of people problem. And that takes more time to get community, sentiment coming together, to be able to get the various different cats kind of herded in the same direction. That's the issue. And so it just takes longer to iterate. So far we've iterated, I think, 3 times this year and 2 times last year. So the DAO program itself has undergone 5 iterations in the last 12 months, as far as trying to figure out, to the lean startup methodology to try and figure out that process. Does that help, Robin? Yep.
I
Awesome.
think that's
Thumbs up.
that we remain adaptable to, and in a new space that's constantly emerging and changing, that we always adapt.
Yep.
Yeah, Devin says it best usually when he said, the DAO X name here, the one DAO X name here generally is not it's a space where DAOs can decide what DAOs are going to do, where we can get best practices by really focusing on optimizing our DAOs instead of just making a bunch of DAOs, right? Like we want to optimize these DAOs, or help these DAOs to become optimized by just developing themselves. And then also building an atmosphere where we're not just working as DAOs in silos, right? We're not just this DAO's here and this DAO's here, and there's no collaboration or discussion or anything like that. There's a lot of additional points that it's more than just the obvious points that we have, but just things like income distribution, right? There's things like adopting DAO tooling that these things we would all benefit from being cohesive. I was thinking last night that the DAO ecosystem is kind of like a forest in a sense, right? Where everything makes up your natural habitat. You don't want to take from it. Our natural habitat is harmony, right? And so we want to make sure that we're feeding our ecosystem as opposed to destroying it. By destroying it, I mean that we aren't returning value to the harmony ecosystem, which is the whole point of birthing this program, right? And that means that we are all returning value to each other as Daoists and DAOs.
Yep. So we have about 10 minutes left. So I want to make sure, Jane, you had a next question, and then Blue Suede Shoes has a question or statement. Raise your hand. Go ahead, Jane. You can take yourself off mute.
Yeah, I think the one DAO idea is absolutely fascinating because there's one pain point our DAO has been facing is like since we were onboarded to the Harmony DAO program, our governor have been trying to schedule a meeting with the DAO operation teams to discuss about how, because unlike other DAOs are in this call, like our beta DAO, we have a majority of Web2 people, and I think we do need extra help within the Web3 world. So yeah, I think it will be a great opportunity if we can have some sort of access to a bunch of people who knows actually what DAOs operating and get if we can get help from additional source other than Harmony operation team, because I know you guys are extremely busy and but it will actually be better if we can get some sort of help even before we got the one DAO. There's some form we can file out to schedule a meeting with the operation team, or
what you can do, Jane, really quickly is why don't you reach out to Chalk. Chalk is our official onboarding master, and he can set up a call with him and other members of the DAO ops team as needed. So just contact him, give him your list of desires, and then he will be able to facilitate it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so Blue Suede Shoes, you're up.
Hi, everybody. So I had several questions, and yeah, I had a bad link, so these don't really pertain to the OneDAO topic that you guys are talking about. Would that be okay if I ask?
That's fine.
A couple of quick questions. Okay, last week we talked about a place in the Harmony Talk for monthly reports. I'm wondering if that's been created.
Yep. Oh yeah, we mentioned that before you joined the call. I'll drop a link for that in the chat right now.
Thanks so much. I want to announce that the Lighted Up DAO is going to be attending NFT New York City in June from the 20th to the 27th. And so we'll probably have a spotlight, but also some projectors. And I just want to say that we're trying to figure out, we want to do a lot of projections, and we want to do projections for other DAOs and for anybody artists that need exposure, want exposure. So I just want everybody to start thinking like what kind of graphics or whatever you might request from us during NFT New York City. The other thing I wanted to ask about is we are onboarding to DWork and Commonwealth this month. And I'm wondering, can we get 2 microgrants during the month, or is it limited to 1 microgrant?
Right now, so it's a good question. Can we bring it up May 1st? It's one of the things that, like, I don't know if you're here on the top of the call, but all grant funding is being frozen for about 10 days. And specifically because we are addressing the community has been very, very loud recently about where our grants are going. There have been several grants that the community just doesn't understand. They think it's fundamentally bad management, like bad resource management. And so that's the reason why we have to kind of hit pause for a few minutes.
Got it.
So Suede, please reach out to us May 1st, because we can definitely run various different challenges for onboarding of tools. I think that's a good idea. I do have to drop, but thankfully Rachel is actually running my account. So Rachel, just ping me when this is all done, and I will access my account and compile this and get it posted to YouTube later today. Before I want to leave, I want everyone to know I will be taking a short vacation. It's actually not a vacation. I'll be taking several days off this month. So I will be very slow to respond to emails and Telegram messages, et cetera, et cetera. But Rachel and Devin and Mikey and Gabby and Chalk, they're all over it, and they're doing a fantastic job. In fact, I don't even know if I need to come back after my time off, because they are doing a great job. So I'm going to leave. Thank you guys all so much. And Rachel, Mikey, Devin, Chalk, and Gabby, it's all on you guys.
He just steals our ideas anyway, people. So just don't even take any of that into consideration. You know, we're getting sick of it
now, wouldn't you?
We're getting sick of it as a team, and we're going to abandon them anyway. So our fearless leaders.
Thanks, Jock. You know that's going to become a meme now, right? It's going to be like Sam is going around pulling ideas out of other people's brains.
We need a good meme. Everyone knows you're the man. We need a good meme. We can poke fun every once in a while because you're the man. It's great.
All right, you guys, take it easy. I'll talk to you all later.
All right, bye, Sam.
I have another question.
Yeah.
So I issued a social token on Aragon, and what I ended up with is an ERC20 token that seems to be on the Harmony network. And I'm wondering if anybody knows if that's different from the technique that the Blue DAO presented in their presentation the other week.
So technically different, but I mean, you're getting the same result, right? At the end of the day. Well, they did 721s, correct?
I think so. So maybe I'll go and just go through that exercise so that I have both. I think that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, it was brought up earlier, and I'm glad we're getting around to addressing this, that rips.io is being discontinued, and this was Annalisa mentioned it. Right now, there is no perfect way to do what they did through rips.io, but that is now on the list of DAO tools and tooling solutions that will help DAOs, create social tokens. There are other ways to do it. No way as easy as Rip.io currently. So that'll be, as I just said, a priority for us to get on chain.
Another question I have is, our DAO decided to reduce our hourly rate to $50 an hour. And I'm wondering if that's going to hurt me for future funding, because I know that Stephen has recommended 75 to 350.
It'll probably boost you. It'll probably
Yes.
boost you. That is.
Cool. Awesome.
Congratulations.
Cool.
Congratulations.
And then I also wanted to point out that I made a link tree for the DAO that has a lot of the Harmony resources on it. So if anybody's doing Harmony promotion, it might be a good tool. It's kind of like all the main stuff in one place, and I put the link in the chat. So thanks everybody.
You definitely, yeah, appreciate you. You definitely might want to talk to Creative DAO about that. Also, if you get the time, I don't know if you have it or not, but if you have the bandwidth to maybe put like a slight post about how you guys came to that decision to drop your rate to $50. I think it was just, I'm such a big fan of that move. A big fan of that move. I would love to see it on the post and give some support too, because that's a really strong move to make in house.
I'll make it part of my monthly report. I'm going to write a report and update everybody on what we've been doing for the last month and a half. So I'll put it in there.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Swade is actually, today is your Denver event for Ambassador DAO, right, Swade?
Yeah, that's correct.
So we have 2 events going on today for Ambassador DAO. We have one in Denver and we have one in San Francisco. So it's pretty exciting. Swade actually had a really awesome video created last time that I just saw. I'm not sure who actually recorded that.
That was Doug from Hype TV. And
Yeah.
Doug has applied for a Harmony grant. I forget the name of his DAO. It's he wants to create a YouTube presence for.
Yeah, that's
I'll look it up and post it. But yeah, he's an awesome guy. He's got a lot of personality, and he's got Hollywood Hollywood biz experience, right? So.
Well, if you get any more footage today, please share with the community, and we will work towards getting an Ambassador DAO YouTube channel put together here soon.
Great. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Wade. Any other questions or concerns, you guys, regarding DAO tooling, DAO reporting, questions or comments?
Rachel, do you want to talk about the download this Friday?
Oh yeah, so we are doing our bi-weekly download on Twitter. Will be taking place Friday, I believe. Is that at 9:15 a.m. PST, Devin?
Correct. Yep, same time as this call.
Yep, so Friday, 9:15 a.m. PST. We'll share the details for that more this week. And are there any DAO tools, Devin, that we're covering specifically on this call?
I think we might cover Bola Network just in a little more detail. I don't know if they can, I think they can be there actually. And I do want to highlight them because they are awesome. And we need to be pushing them a little more because that's a great treasury management tool.
And depending on the timing, might be highlighting DAO. I know they have an interesting article coming out on Mirror, which is the basically the medium for Web3 this week. And so definitely represent the type of educational platform that they're looking at developing and how they're adding an ecosystem. So hopefully we'll be able to get them in there.
Something else that fucks me up.
Language.
Same.
That's so funny that I like get on somebody for language because I am a sailor. Language. Do it say what Sam when Sam's gone. You know, I got to language.
So yeah, so we'll see you guys this Friday for the download. We've got some links coming in. Blue Latam is hosting a Twitter space on 4/20 at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Swade posted the Hype TV link to the talk forum. But it's now over an hour, so if that's going to be it, I really look forward to seeing everybody next week, same time, same place, for the all DAO hands meeting, and we'll just keep this communication open.
Awesome. Thank you all for joining today. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys.